Hello, girls, boys, them, they, whatever else you kids call yourselves today. This is Jewish, Asian, and Pacific Island Wrestlers You Should Know, sponsored by Premier Pro Wrestling. And I am Randy Ritchie, and today we're going to talk about first Glenn Jacobs, better known as Kane. Now, first off, over the last 25 to 30 years, Kane has got to be one of the most memorable characters in the history, or in that history. You know, that window of history, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Kane was a military brat, Air Force branch. That means his father was in the Air Force and obviously a lifetime military guy, which would explain the following. Kane was a libertarian. I don't know if he's currently a libertarian, but I do know that he is Republican. And rather than hate each other for our beliefs, which we're supposed to be allowed to have said beliefs, that's what makes this country great, why don't we just try to understand each other a little more? And that would only make sense. And the guy does go out there and is devoted to his beliefs, as he was the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Things I didn't know about Kane, and I don't know how this occurred, but Jeff Bad Boy Bradley in part helped break Kane in and train him. And you guys probably wouldn't remember Jeff Bad Boy Bradley, but Bad Boy Bradley was an ECW mainstay for a stint. He was a huge, I'm going to go ahead and call it a Bruiser Brody tribute, who had really big popularity in Japan. And I think that he would have been a really big, maybe household name in the industry if he hadn't have literally almost crushed his ankle when he was still a young guy. That being said, I bonded with him when I was in Puerto Rico, and I really like and respect the guy. The other thing is, I'm tied to Glenn Jacobs Kane via Percy Pringle, my friend Paul Bearer. In a sense, this is what I'm talking about with connection. In any way, shape, or form, I figure this to be Kane and I being distant cousins as far as the wrestling family trees go. Now, you know, I don't have to say too much about this guy wrestling-wise. My personal dealings with him have always been good. We're not besties. We passed each other in the hall. Maybe we stood in a circle while I would be cutting up with Percy Pringle, Paul Bear. But he was never a big-time acting guy. I remember a WWE movie, and I can't remember the name of it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and post the Wikipedia links in the description so you guys can see all that stuff for yourselves. But I thought he really had an acting career, because I remember it was a horror movie, and he really stood out like a son bitch, you know, and I'm surprised that he didn't do more acting. Anyway, the other guy that we're going to talk about is Little Tokyo, who was an agent, and I'm not being offensive, so please don't call me out. He called himself that. Little Tokyo, a Japanese midget wrestler, and let me tell you, if you are in the wrestling industry, male, female, I don't care what your size or stature is, you can learn a shitload. The creativity that Little Tokyo had inside that ring with moves, high spots, wrestling, Looney Tunes, the guy could do it all. And I think that he could have made a hell of a lot of money if midgets or little people were prominent in the industry, especially today. He would have made one hell of an outstanding trainer for any size. The guy was entertainment personified, and Little Tokyo, look at the body on the guy. He obviously had one hell of a work ethic, and he was one of those little people that didn't have any kind of birth defects for being a midget, but he had a really nice symmetry similar to the minis of AAA, you know, in Lucha Libre or any Lucha company, CMLL as well, down in Mexico. This guy just moved phenomenally, and he was hilarious. He was hilarious inside the ring. Inside the ring, the things that he would come up with would have people laughing their asses off. But then in the same token, when it was on during his heat as a heel, people were actually terrified. He had a believability factor and had to be tenfold because of the entertainment quality of this man. Now, I've been in a handful of locker rooms at Little Tokyo, And I just remember him being as funny outside the ring as he was inside the ring. You know, with the popularity of Hezbollah, I'm going to go ahead and say if Little Tokyo was alive today, he would be a TikTok sensation and a millionaire from TikTok. You know what I'm saying? But the funniest thing that I can remember about Little Tokyo is I was in a locker room with, I can't remember who all, but I do know that Randy Orton's father, Cowboy Bob Orton, was there. And Bob, who was a very nice guy, but a very tough guy, and if he didn't like you, you knew it. And just unbelievably, after Little Tokyo worked and toweled off, he just climbed over to Bob Orton, this badass, and hopped up on his lap, and Bob helped him up there, and then they just sat there and caught up with their old friends like Buddy Jack Roberts that they hadn't seen for a while, like this was normal. So, you know, as a young wrestler, I just enjoyed the shit out of that. Love to see not only the camaraderie, but the comedic side of that in real life. Okay, guys, please support Premier Pro Wrestling. Have the decency to like and subscribe and help us to get to 50,000 subscribers. Both Wikipedia links on Little Tokyo and Kane will be in the description, along with ways that you can help support Premier Pro Wrestling.